All right, good morning, guys. This is John Tripp here, host of BlabNation, with our illustrious co-host Leland Best and our amazing special guest today, Tim Schmoyer. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a great morning. How are you guys doing today, huh?
I just woke up, but I'm doing okay.
That's all right.
Means I don't sleep as long as I used to.
Well, it's to be expected. It is to be expected.
But Tim,
yeah. All right.
I'll let Jonathan do most of the questioning because he has a copy of the outline today. So I brought you into the show, but I want him to go ahead and spearhead this thing as we move along.
All right. Actually, you know what I was going to do? I was going to ask you, Leland, since you are a big part of this. Would you intro Tim? I would appreciate that.
I sure will. Hey, everybody out there at BlabNation. This is Leland Best, your co-host. As Jonathan likes to say, the man with a face for radio. But we're going to get out here and we're going to enjoy some time today with Tim Schmoyer of videocreators.tv and .com if you want to go out there and find him. Tim runs one of the biggest that I consider YouTube channels out there today. He is YouTube certified. He has some programs that are available to anyone that wants to learn how to create a business on YouTube. You can find him live streaming. Is it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Tim, or is it?
I live stream on I haven't figured out the schedule, but it's probably going to be Monday and Tuesdays. Tuesdays for sure. I haven't figured out the other one.
Okay, and you've come up with a new plan. I just recently saw a video. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. So I'm going to ask most of the folks out there in the fan seats to hold your questions back for a little bit so that we can maintain some consistency with Tim and let him talk about what he does and how he ended up where he's at now at Video Creators. We will take the little ones as they come through, obviously, and get them over in the question area. So if you have a question, /Q before your question with a space, and that'll put you on the queue, and we'll go from there. So Tim, welcome. I really appreciate you coming on the show today. I got a question I have to ask right off the bat, though.
Okay.
And I mentioned this to Jonathan. I got to know what it is about the hat. You're always wearing the hat, so I got to ask.
I can go without it. It just looks like this.
No, I get it.
No,
I'm needing a haircut too, but it started when I was in elementary school. I was at camp, and I don't think I've ever told this story publicly. Actually, this might be the first time.
Oh.
Gotcha. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I was at camp for the week. And in the arts and crafts booth there, they had a hat that you could like design and color on. Like the old painter hats type thing. They were cheap. So I got that, and I was just so proud of my artwork on that hat. And I just wore that hat for a long time until like my sweat. This is like months later. Was like bleeding through the brim, and it was just a cardboard brim, right? It was just like a cheap painter's hat, and it was just like disintegrated. And so after that, I didn't wear hats for a little while, but I always kind of wanted to. And then I think it was when I was in high school, I think it was in Boy Scouts. So it was before high school. I got another hat that I started collecting pins. I started putting pins in the hat everywhere we went on a Boy Scout trip. And I don't wear that hat anymore, obviously, but it just kind of stayed on one hat or another, stayed on top ever since then.
Well, in honor of the hat, I'm going to wear mine today, so we don't want you to feel out of place or anything like that.
Oh, I know. I wear it pretty much everywhere except for sleeping, shower, and that's about it.
Hey, now wait a minute. I'm not going to. Well, I won't get into that aspect. We don't talk about those things on BlabNation. I was going to throw that in there. But and again, I want to congratulate you on the birth of your 2 twin daughters that just recently came into this world. It's Chloe and Caris, is it?
Caris, yep. Mm-hmm.
Caris? Okay,
Caris,
I wasn't sure how you pronounced that. I did see your unveiling, though, of the baby names. I thought that was really cool. You guys did a segmented time-lapse video created in Lego form with the kids, and I thought that was pretty spectacular. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe your family channel, obviously, and how that started, and then how I believe it was from there that you kind of bloomed out into video creators. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's a couple steps along the way. I'll make it short so we can
talk
about the technical stuff people want to talk about. But so I was living in Dallas. I was in grad school. 2002 is when I started. Graduated 2005. And during that time, I started a WordPress blog, timschmoyer.com, just this is pre-Facebook days. So I was using it the way we use Facebook now, just to kind of share updates and stuff for my family and friends who were back home in Pennsylvania and things like that. And so as I was doing that, YouTube rolled out in September 2005. And then March 2nd, 2006, I uploaded my first video. It's 30 seconds long. It's called Test Video. You can put a lot of creative energy into this video. It's just me sitting there talking, just experimenting with the process of getting a video off my 9 or 8 millimeter camera, uploading it to YouTube as a way to share in video form what I was doing and things, the social way of sharing with my parents and friends and family and stuff like that on my blog. And so that's how it got started. I was dating, my wife and I were dating at the time, and we started making like little videos of us going out to eat, going out to the park, going on dates. Now we know it as vlogging, but back then it was just, people, everyone's like, why would you be doing that? And so we just kind of kept going. Our engagement then is on there, that video, to our wedding, to our honeymoon, to moving into our first house, first real job, all that type of stuff. We just, not consistently didn't keep going, but there's like 1,700 videos or something now on that channel between now and 2006. So it was through that process I was trying to learn, like, how does this platform work? Like, some people are seeing like this growth, some people aren't. Like, what's the difference? I started asking all these questions, and back then the industry was so small that it was easy to get access to the industry leaders. It wasn't even really an industry at that point. So I would just reach out, email those people and be like, here's my questions. And long story short is that one of the guys I reached out to is Mark Robertson at RealSEO.com, which had just started at that time. And he's wrote me back. He's like, Tim, these are great questions. I don't know the answers to them, but if you figure them out, please let me know. And so I did. I went out, I figured out how does certain things work on YouTube, went back and told him. And then I ended up being leading a web series on his YouTube channel about like teaching other people how to use YouTube. And so from that, I kind of set my trajectory more into the industry side of YouTube training and marketing and things like that. And then when Real SEO sold to Tubular Labs, that was about the time when I switched over to video creators, because I knew I wasn't going to make that transition. So I launched Video Creators in 2013 and made it my full-time income about 6 months later, and been living off of that ever since.
Awesome. That's the way I think a lot of people would love to see it take. But go ahead, Jonathan. Right. You got a question?
I was going to say, so it sounds to me like YouTube works for you, right? It's and I wish a lot more. I wish a lot of us kind of had that same experience, in whatever platform that they have, whatever platform they choose. And for you, it seemed that you just really were able to find your audience, or maybe better put, your audience kind of found you. But I guess one of the first things I kind of wanted to ask, just in terms of when you were starting out, did you have any inkling? Did you have any vision or just idea that it might actually get this big?
YouTube?
Well, just video creators, and just your personality, and just how people like, Tim Schmoyer, are you kidding me? That's the guy, right? That kind of recognition. Did you ever have that kind of thought?
I still don't really think that, to be honest. Like, I know YouTube's huge now, and there was no way to predict that, I guess. I mean, there's Vimeo started before YouTube, right? And, so there's other platforms, but YouTube took off because I didn't adhere to the copyright stuff as well. But I don't know, like if I go out to like LA or, some California places, San Francisco, people recognize me, but I live in Cincinnati and I like it here because there's a high level of anonymity here.
Right.
And so I don't really experience that or feel that here, which I like. So,
well, I would think that online. I mean, how many subscribers now? Do you know how many subscribers you have on your YouTube channel?
No, I can go look.
I saw it's gone up, Tim. When we started to schedule you for the show, you were around 125K, and now you've gone, I think, 10K more.
136,000.
136,000.
Yeah, 10,000 followers in less than a month. So
I get a few hundred a day. So
right. So I guess this kind of boils down to, you found a system, you found a process of that people are just going, Tim, I like what you're doing. I like the methodology. You're accessible. I think that's another thing about you, just as a personality wise. You're very accessible in that. I think that people feel that they can ask you questions. I think the first time, or one of the early blabs that I saw you on, you were actually talking about the issue of commenting back. How do you keep up with, a channel that's this big with like how many, literally, I mean, you have so many comments going through, and that was actually the first exposure I've had to you personally, listening to that conversation. So that was kind of cool.
That was Blab, huh?
I think that was Blab, because that was my
with Mike Stelzner. Was that when I was talking with him and Joel Com?
It wasn't Joel Com. It was Carmichael.
Oh, Evan Carmichael.
Yeah. That was pretty funny, because he's there like just like jogging and doing. I'm like, that's so funny. That was so
I remember that was my first. Yeah, I remember that. That was my first one, because he didn't know what he was getting himself into. I just like, will you figure this out with me? And he's like, I'm on a treadmill. I'm like, I don't care. It's fine.
And honestly, a lot of people don't care. They really don't. I just don't like being on a treadmill.
I know you haven't been out here a whole lot, Tim, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time on YouTube live streaming. So can you give us a comparison of how difficult or how easy you feel it is? Because I know a lot of people out here would love to spend some time on YouTube. We know that Blab allows you to simply upload the videos as they're produced out onto YouTube. But let's kind of talk a little bit about what it takes, and we'll get into your products obviously at the end of the things that you're giving out to people with your time and your effort and your trainings and stuff. But from a live streaming perspective, where do you see YouTube going? Are they going to stick with the format and the platform that they have now? Are they going to? I don't think they're running anything through WebRTC yet, are they? Or are they? And can you give me a little insight on the direction that live streaming on YouTube is going to go in 2016?
I've been asked that question before, and I'm not sure. Like, nobody really knows. My guess is that I can speak from my experience, and that is I'm doing more of it for two reasons. One, because let's just be honest, like I get kind of bored of just shooting videos in my dark basement and editing and uploading them, and so it's like, people, I get to talk with people. So I like the engagement factor, that I can answer questions like rather than going to the comments and having and like reply to all, which I like doing. I'm not belittling that, but there's something different when you can just hang out and see their questions coming across. You can just kind of keep going and answering them, and I feel like it serves the viewers better. It's certainly easier for me, less time for me. So that's part of it, is engagement. Another part of it is it's just less work. It takes a lot of work to script. Well, I don't script, but to plan out what you're going to say and to shoot. And then I have an editor now, but when I was editing before, I had to edit all of those. And then this way, it's just like I just schedule it. People see it in their subscription feeds like a few days before. They can set the reminder, and then
I get your text.
Yeah. You get the text message. Yeah, I do those sometimes too.
Yep,
but YouTube is getting better. In fact, the YouTube app now, you can set notifications right on the app to get notified, which is way better because anyway, so I like it that it saves me a lot of time, especially for the news videos that I do, where it's like, here's what's happening in the online industry, video industry right now, the updates that you need to know about to help you develop your audience and your channels. Those videos have a very short shelf life, because 3 weeks from now nobody cares about that anymore because they're on the next thing. So there's a lot of time and energy to put into one video just to have it be relevant for a few weeks. And so I now started streaming those because I can just hop on or Wirecast, make a semi-produced video. Like, there's not jump cuts and there's not lots of effects and visuals coming in, but it's good enough. It's it's sufficient for what the purpose of that content is. And so it saves me a lot of time to do that. The other thing about live streaming on YouTube is that it helps. It kind of just is really good for the YouTube algorithm, because a few of the things that they look for, the viewer signals that they look for, is watch time, right? And that is the amount of time someone spends watching your video. And so if it's live, those people, that's a really high engagement factor. They are just sitting there all giving you tons of watch time on that video because it's live, it's a different experience. And all that watch time translates then to the video. So when you publish, by the time the video is published, you already have mountains of watch time on that video. Plus, you get lots of engagement, which is another good signal. It doesn't really help ranking as much, but it lets Google know that there's this video is eliciting a response from people. So all the chat that's happening turns into comments. It takes a few days for it to convert, but eventually it turns into comments, all the thumbs up, like all that stuff. So you give Google a lot of really positive signals about your content by live streaming as well. And so those are just a few of the reasons why I'm doing it, and I think makes sense for others to jump onto.
A quick question, and I'll just let this be known to a lot of people who might not know this, and at least this is my understanding. In order to live stream on YouTube, you do have to use a third-party application to some extent, or can you just use YouTube itself?
Yeah, well, it's Hangouts on Air. So you can start a Hangout on Air and you just use that, or you can use XSplit, OBS, or I use Wirecast and a lot of different ones.
Yeah, I was going to set up my OBS and my XSplit actually both to see how well each functions, but let's just go ahead. I think what you said is key here. We do have a group of people who are probably biting at their fingernails. Like, I want to ask them a question. And I know I asked everybody to be quiet for a minute, but I just wanted to get you into the room and get things rolling so people could understand who you are and where you come from. So if anybody out in the fan seats has any questions they'd love to ask Tim as we're going from this point forward, feel free to use the /Q and start throwing your questions out there. Tim, I know you're changing your format on your channel a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the direction you're headed in 2016 and where you want to see video creators go?
Yeah, I'm taking a bit of a shift. Again, because I was kind of bored of talking about the same things over and over and over again for 3 years. So that was part of it. Part of it also is that I was noticing, I'm getting like 10,000 new subscribers a month, but like the views from subscribers, the average number of subscriber views per video is kind of like flat through 2015. So I was like, I get a lot of new people coming in, but there's just as many people. They're not unsubscribing, but they're becoming passive subscribers. Why is that? And so through a lot of conversations and analysis and processes and all that kind of stuff, figured out I actually have 3 audiences now. Then I started off just targeting the hobby YouTube creators, but now I have not only those people, but I also have the people who started and are frustrated and ready to give up. They're like, oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be, And then third, you have the people who are telling me, Tim, we've been following you since the beginning. We've been taking your advice. Our channel has now grown. This is our full-time gig now. And the questions that you're answering aren't really relevant to us as much anymore.
Okay.
And so I shifted to orient my content more on that last group, the full-timers or the people who do want to become full-time and more the business side of developing a YouTube channel.
Gotcha. Sounds like a good plan. All right, we got a few questions rolling in here right off the bat. Dr. Tom Curran, thanks for your question. Curran. How much of a difference does one camera versus 2 or more cameras make?
For live streaming, I'm guessing, or different angles on a video shoot?
Yeah, I think that's what they're referring to here, Tom. And if you want to clarify that for us in the chat, please feel free to do so. I know I have 2 cameras here, 1 on each monitor, but I have to have my other software running, obviously, to run 2 cameras. You can do it on Blab with 2 accounts. With YouTube, how do you have to structure that? Do you have to use the third-party software to run more than 1 camera on YouTube?
They have it built in. I haven't used it, but if you go with like when you set the ingestion settings, you can opt to add multiple camera ingestions there. I haven't used it myself. I'm assuming a third-party software, or a TriCaster or something would be a lot easier, but those are also a lot more expensive. So
I know with XSplit, you can actually run picture-in-picture and dual camera on 2 different scenes and stuff like that if you wanted to switch cameras real quick for takes and fades and things. So
yeah, you can get a Wirecast also, add multiple cameras and then just switch between the cameras. But I mean, how much difference does one camera make? Probably depends on your content. There's, as far as keeping viewer attention, like in order to keep your audience retention really high, they say that you need to cut about to a new angle, new scene, or something to re-trigger, like recapture the attention of the viewer's mind, like every 3 to 7 seconds or so. Really? So if you watch MTV, like they hypercut, it's like every 1 to 2 seconds they're switching to a new angle to keep that viewer's attention. And so jump cuts can do the same thing though if you're just producing a video. If you're live, I haven't gone to the trouble of getting different angles and stuff. So
yeah, in
I like
live
the
stream,
jump
I can
cuts.
tell you that
Those are cool.
if you want to do live stream where it looks like you do angles, you just change how you're sitting. So you
There
have
you
your
go.
good side and you have your B side and your A side. Because
Or you
I
can get like the up the nose shot from
right
people who have it on their laptops or looking down into their computers.
that's always a
and,
favorite.
and cooking shows.
Blow your nose before you start the show.
I was going to bring that up, Leland.
Right.
That's a really good example. We have somebody in our community, Chef Dennis, and he does a cooking show with 2 cameras. He does it here on Blab, and he's got 2 cameras set up. Sometimes he's the co-host, sometimes he's the one that's hosting. But it is a really interesting view to be able to see him simultaneously, though, because it's live stream. It's not produced cut like that. You see from the 2 different angles, you're always seeing him do stuff. And it really is interesting because, you're catching him doing it like you're sitting there right in the kitchen. Just, you just choose the angle you want to see. And that's
how you do that on YouTube.
I don't know what he hosts it here on Blab. I think that's how he does it, right?
Oh,
yeah, it would show.
Well, on YouTube, the way like multiple camera ingestion works is that the viewer can select which camera angle they want to watch. So they're the ones controlling, which angle. So they have like a little preview window on the side, and you click on the one you want to make big. Yeah, but in my experience, most people don't. That's like too much initiative for them. Right. They don't want to do that. They either want you to just show them what they need to see, or they'll just pick one and watch it.
Yeah, and they'll just kind of.
Quick question: what are you using as your Twitter feed on YouTube, Tim? You've got a Twitter feed going on where you ask people to ask you questions through Twitter.
Yeah, that's part of Wirecast.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. I would prefer to take it from the comments, YouTube like chat, but they don't currently have a way to do that, so I gotta send them to Twitter, which I guess is good because it grows my Twitter following too. But
Twitter's okay.
I would like to keep it native to YouTube.
It's all right.
That's what this does. Blab does a great job of growing your Twitter community just by the way it's intertwined, and part and parcel. So
I think there's a lot of YouTubers though who aren't active on Twitter, and so to ask them to go there, they're like, "Oh shoot, what's my Twitter password? I don't remember."
So that's actually a really good question to bring up for you, as far as because YouTube is part of the Google now split up conglomerate. Do you find that YouTubers are more G+ users? Are they closer to that, or do they find it just kind of it's arbitrary?
Most of them are happy that the split is done, it's over and they're separated again. But that said, there's a lot of them are now confused all over again about how to use YouTube because they finally figured out how to use it with Google Plus, and now it's like not Google Plus, but it still kind of is. So if you reply to a comment, like their name is still there with the plus, but it doesn't tag them on Google Plus, so it's just all messy. So it didn't really help a whole lot, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I've seen you try out we'll take Leanne's question here real quick. I have seen you try out the Wirecast Go app, and I know you had problems with it right off the bat, and she's asking if you got a chance to explore it some more, and she's waiting on your tutorial. So how's it been going?
Yeah, I actually used it again yesterday and last week, and the first time was crystal smooth. I can get the URL if you want to watch the recording.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
But the first time was great, and then when I used it yesterday, it hiccuped and buffered a lot, but that was because my Backblaze backup was going on another computer. I forgot about it, so it sucked up all my bandwidth. So I don't know where you want me to put this. You just want me to drop it?
Yeah, just drop it in the chat. People will pick it up from there. And then it gets from there. It'll get we upload this, and we upload this to a web page, so it captures all the comments. So that's awesome. Yeah. So if you guys want to check it out, first Wire. Let me try to get this first Wirecast Go stream and just follow that there. Eileen, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're able to hop in. Tim, one of the things I did want to talk to you just generally about, and I if I'm not mistaken, I know you have some different products and different, that you sell and that you offer, because honestly, I think there's just a really big need in the marketplace, so one of them is actually growing a subscribership. What is the best way, and everybody has their own tips or tricks, but without giving too much away, don't give away your course here.
I'll give it away.
How do you grow a subscribership?
I don't give away the course, but I give away the information. It's all stuff I've talked about on YouTube publicly before.
Yep.
It's just all I've done is put it in one place in a systematic process. But, and most people won't take the time to watch 500 plus YouTube videos to get it all. So,
right.
So what is the process for growing a YouTube audience? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I would say about like 80% of it comes down to a few things. It comes down to knowing it, like a business model. Who is your target audience? Who are you trying to reach, and what value? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what value do you propose to deliver to them? You know, what's your value proposition? And so a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to make great YouTube videos, and they think that they'll perform based on nothing more than the merit of the content, which most people then later find out is not true. So knowing really clearly who you're targeting, and that's important because like in order to hook somebody, there's a few things that need to happen. But one of the things is you need to make them feel like this is for me, like this channel right here, like this is exactly what I've been looking for. This resonates with me. I feel like they're talking to me. Like you have to make that connection. And one of the best ways to do that is to literally just target that person, you know? And so if it's like, don't just say I'm targeting gamers, like that's way too broad. Like you got to get like really super niche and get down to like who exactly specifically are you targeting? And just like you would if you're starting a business. And so you got to know who they are, and then, you know, like who are you trying to reach? And then you have to know why they would care. What's the value proposition? And then you have to deliver on that value in every single video that you do so that people know like, oh, I want to go back and watch every video that Jonathan's doing because they're all good. Like they all consistently offer that same value. And so like you really got to figure out those two things. And then there's other things that like title and thumbnail are really important. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the top YouTubers spend just as much time on their title and thumbnail as they do their actual video. And the reason for that is because you can make an amazing video, but if no one clicks on it, it doesn't matter, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people, like, they'll just describe, like, what if the title, they'll just say, this is what the video is, me playing blah, blah, blah game. But nobody knows why they should watch you play that game. You know, if you're a gamer, like, they don't know what value they're going to get. Like, you and a million other people are playing that game. So what? So you have to have really good enticing titles that either tease a story or that pitch the value that or the reward that someone's going to get from watching the video.
That kind of segues, Tim, right into the question we have here from Mike Sheehan, which is how valuable do you see using long tail keywords when titling your videos? And that is kind of, do you go with the catchy eye-grabbing title, or do you go with the long-tail keyword title? And I can say just from experience, for instance, I have a video that shows up under transcribing video with YouTube, and I'm page 1, number 1 out there, and I've been there for like 3 years on that video. And it's just one of those things that I used as a long-tail keyword, but it was also a question that people ask, you know, how do I transcribe video on YouTube? So they're always looking for that information. And it's kept me up there for quite a while. I mean, it doesn't have 1 million views or anything, but it's got several tens of thousands now that have come out to witness this video. Which do you prefer, the eye candy or the long tail keyword?
So let me explain you how it works, and then I think you'll know the answer. It's because so a lot of people focus on metadata, which is the title, the description, and the tags, and they think, oh, like getting my videos to rank is all about getting those things right, and it's not. Because Google only looks at that information for about a week after you've published the video. So right in search results, if it's less than a week old, right next to those videos that are less than a week old has a little tag that says new. And those are videos that Google is experimenting with because they don't really know much about the video other than the information the user supplied. But a lot of people lie, you know, in those titles and the tags and descriptions and hoping to game the system and rank higher. So Google doesn't really put a whole lot of stock in those. They only look at that initially when the video is first published. So in the first week, what they're doing is they're experimenting a lot with your video. They're placing it in different spots around YouTube. We put it here, like associated with this video. Do people click on it as related? If we put it here, is it getting more, you know? So they're trying a lot. And for a lot of videos, Google tries and nobody clicks it at all because the title and the thumbnail were weak. Or people clicked it, but they quickly abandoned it or something, and Google sees like, oh, that's a negative signal. Like we thought this was about dogs, but it seems like people who are watching it are people looking for cats. And so this probably is a cat video, not a dog video, so they're figuring that whole thing out. So to answer the question, you have to optimize it for people, right? So you do want to optimize like with some keywords and stuff so Google knows what it's about. But more importantly, those keywords trigger clicks from people who are looking for those keywords. So if someone searches like for a perfect example of this, if someone searches YouTube for music videos, one of the top results they'll get is actually a playlist titled Billboard Top 100. Right. So there's no correlation between the keywords at all. They know the user intent. They know they're looking for music videos. Let's show them Billboard Top 100. So it's not really as much about the metadata as much as it's about how you hook the viewer, and not in clickbait, but how you pitch the value that your video offers. And then the first 15 seconds are really important to hook that viewer, to pitch the value, to tease them, for them to know like, okay, yes, the value that I clicked to expecting to get is the value I'm going to get in this video. And so you got to really craft those really well to hook people to keep watching. And then you start getting watch time, and then hopefully that extends to session watch time, which is how does your video contribute to a viewer's overall viewing session on YouTube? And those are the factors then that rank the video. So the title and the metadata only plays a role initially, and after that, it's more about pitching it to people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, it really.
I rushed through a lot there, but.
No, that you kind of summed it up, because I think a lot of people feel that, oh, well, it's just like Instagram. It's kind of like, oh, it's all about the hashtag. I mean, you can say whatever you want in the description, but if the hashtag isn't there, then people just don't pay attention, or that's the perception. So, they all, actually, a lot of people that I come across, so they'll put in as many hashtags as they can. They'll put in 20, and on Instagram that really doesn't work. And so my question to you then. Is that the same? Does YouTube look at the hashtag sets kind of the same thing? Or is it just kind of like, it doesn't really matter. You can put in 10, 5, 1, and it doesn't influence it that directly.
So you should give Google as much information as you can about your video. Mm-hmm. So they're asking for the information. So give them accurate, good information. So they're asking for tags, give them tags. If you're going to load it up with, you're going to fill up the character spaces with as many tags as you can, that's probably not helpful. I've heard this, like from YouTube will tell you this isn't relevant anymore. Other sources that I trust say it is. So I haven't tested it myself. But from what I understand, like no more than 15 tags from a video. Like after that, Google starts to think it's spam. 10, is that what it is now? I don't like last time I heard it was 15, but I think when people are trying to like just overdo the tag, like the way Google says to do it is think about how you would describe this video to a friend using one or compound word phrases, and just use a couple of those first ones that come to mind, use those as the tags. So it's not really like scientific and all this research that people do and things like that. Google will figure it out on their own based on user signals anyway, so.
I think we kind of covered, I know what Vanessa B is asking here with regards to the clickbait titles. You see a lot of those, scam alert type ones where they're kind of redirecting from one to another. And I can honestly tell by experience, I created a video that was a full walkthrough, but I called it an epic scam review. And it really was to show that this was not a scam that I was looking at. And I got my account shut down for a little while because well, I didn't get it shut down. It was based on I lost my live streaming features, my ad features, and things like that. Yeah, I got it out of there right away. It was just the fact that it hit me like out of the blue, and I was like, "Wow, what did I do wrong?" I've never had a strike.
A lot of people just flag stuff without watching it too. Yeah,
that's what I thought it was. So I think that one I wanted to go with the keywords though too is it is still true, and tell me if I'm wrong, to keep the keywords out of the description on YouTube.
Yes,
throw
very much true.
List of keywords in the description. They do not like that.
Just write a good solid paragraph at the very beginning of your description that describes the video, keeps your keywords in mind. But again, like that first couple, like first sentence or two is the snippet text that'll show up in Google and YouTube when people are searching for your video. So have your keywords in the first sentence or two, but optimize it again for people who are like, they see it and it clicks. Because Google, if they post it and they rank it and no one's clicking, it's not going to stay there very long, and they're going to put someone else's video in there instead. So, you really need to keep people first, not in a clickbaity way, but in a, hey, I'm telling you I'm talking to you like a human rather than trying to talk to a robot, you know?
Yeah, you're not trying to purposely keyword rank. You're just trying to, if you were to talk about it and you were to use the keywords, but you wouldn't be talking right along and hashtag, and drop the hashtag word in there. But if you use it as part of the conversation, as part of your describing something, then do that. And that's a really key point.
Yeah.
One more thing I'd like to confirm, Tim, with keywording, and I get asked this question a lot because I do get approached about the whole transcription thing, and I'm a big proponent when it comes to accessibility in video. And I've been watching a lot of 3M Studios work on their webinars where they are showing how a lot of these players are now incorporating accessibility features in the future that are going to be amazing, when it comes to chapters and descriptions and portions of the videos. YouTube's got its cards and things now, and I would definitely like to touch base with you at some point on how to use those properly, but that's a whole blab in and of itself. With the transcriptions, though, a lot of people ask me, or they're teaching that if you put the transcription, keyword it, and get that Google's actually going to rank keywords out of the transcription file. Is that true, or is it more of an accessibility ranking? Because that's what I'm telling people. You've given YouTube accessibility features, and they like that, so they're going to rank you a little higher for the fact that you took the effort to transcribe it. But
neither are true. I've heard that too. People are like, really? So they are indexed. The captions are indexed. So if you say some weird phrase that no one in the world has ever said before, and you type it into YouTube, your video will be the only video that shows up for that. So they do index it, but it doesn't help rank it. The only reason your video showed up is because there was literally no other results. So the way it works, actually, there's been a couple studies done on this, and 3Play Media, if you guys know who they are, they keep on top of this type of stuff pretty good.
That's who I meant to say. Yeah, 3Play Media.
So, so what it does is actually the captions files themselves don't actually influence how well a video ranks, but it does have two impacts. One is that it gives Google more information about what your video is about, and so it could potentially help them rank the video for wider breadth of searches. So it's not going to rank it like 3 spots up because it has captions, but now that Google knows it's about, like, they can match it with user intent, better. So people aren't using the exact keywords, but they know, this video is about that as a relevant result. So they could rank it for more searches than just the one that, maybe the title's optimized for. So that's one thing. But the bigger thing, though, is that it's actually the most, like 80% of the people who use captions on YouTube are people who speak English as a second language, or as people who do speak English, but they find that they can pay attention and learn better if they just enable the captions, and so that they can read along with what they're hearing. And so in that sense, it helps increase watch time on the videos because those people are watching the video longer, and that additional watch time then is what helps the video rank. And the captions were a tool that led to that, but the captions themselves is not the reason why they ranked higher. Make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome. And while we're on that subject, YouTube has come out with 3 new features when it comes to the recent updates and language tools that they have available. And I'll just touch on the names of them. The community contributed closed captioning, which allows other people to caption your videos for you. I don't know how that works. I haven't really delved into it. The translation marketplace, which is now in beta, that allows other people to translate your videos for you. And the titles and descriptions, I'm not sure what that was all about, whether that's automatically done. That's something they're doing on the fly. I've noticed recently where, like on Facebook, I get a post on Facebook and it says translate under it because it thinks it's another language where you can auto translate. Is that where Google's going now?
Yeah, they try. It's terrible. Like I disable the auto captions. The auto captions aren't indexed. They have no influence on the video at all. So you can safely disable them if you want. But I do have people who translate my videos into other languages. I don't use YouTube's because it's like, depending on the length of the video, it's a few $100 per video. Instead, I go to like Upwork.com, and I have a lady there who's on my team now who just translates them into Spanish for me. And I get like 12 videos done for the price of one through Google. So
right.
It's a lot more affordable.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, well that's about what I needed to know there. But you can't like make money off of contributing to the marketplace thing, can you? Is that
It's all
something
voluntary, all free. Yeah.
That's what I thought. They phrased it as a marketplace, but I didn't think there was
the marketplace
any
is that they have
transaction.
people who are on their marketplace, but you can't get on the marketplace. Yeah.
Okay. The other question over here, and people feel free to start throwing them at Tim. He's got about 20 minutes. And I don't know what your time window's like, Tim. I know your time doesn't come cheap, so we expect you're going to be here till 11 and have to take off. Monique asks, what are some steps to counter your account being suspended?
Oh, after it's suspended, usually there's an appeal process you can go through. And so is that what you went through, Leland?
Yeah, I managed to dig for a while and find the right email address.
Oh, okay.
Honestly.
That's one way to do it.
And it was really just a support at YouTube address. But I'll tell you this much: the people on the other end were so kind and considerate, and basically informed me after reviewing my channel, "Don't worry, you won't have this issue again," which I felt was, comforting, because I've been taking the effort for the last couple of years to produce an honest to goodness channel that followed the guidelines to a T. And when it got suspended, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And I felt kind of disheartened there for a little while, having to wait in the wings for YouTube to decide my fate, or the fate of my channel. That must have been
a few years ago, right?
And,
is that a few years ago?
No, this was honestly about last summer, not this past summer. It was, it was. It was like June or July of this year.
Oh, okay, last year.
So this was just recently that I went through.
Yeah, there's usually if that happens, there's what's the word? Appeal link that you just click. It'll be in the email notification you get. It'll also be associated with the offending video in your video manager. You can click on that. And you just kind of give your reason, and that'll send it back to an actual live person on their team reviews all those. So those aren't automated. Now, how well those people review is another question, right? But that'll go back to them, and then they'll make a verdict either way. In my experience, it usually takes a few days for them to do that, and a few days to like a week or so.
Took me 2 months to actually get my channel back in gear before it was taken out of, before I got all my features back. I could still use the channel, and the channel still worked, but I couldn't use the live streaming. I couldn't run ads on it, and some other things of that nature.
That happened to me. I had a community guideline strike a few days before I had a set live stream scheduled with a YouTube employee. She was going to come on my channel and do some Q&A stuff. And so in my case, I was like, we have this Q&A coming up in 2 days. I just got this community guideline stripe bogus. She's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And it was like done by the end of the day. I was like,
right.
But I think I lucked out on that one.
It pays.
And one other question I have for you real quick, Tim, is I know you're YouTube certified, and I know when the Creators Academy was out before, and I know that's not a live thing anymore, that it is available for anyone that wants to go out there and learn it. Do they have opportunity and avenues for people to still get certified on YouTube, or is that something you've got to have like 100,000 viewers before you can do it?
No, especially for industry people. So for people who are working at MCNs, at YouTube networks, or who are working with creators, they want to certify the people that they're like, yeah, you're legit, And so I was one of the first people to go through it. I went out to their headquarters in California and went through all that. Now it's just online video, like videos that you watch and take a test at the end. But so to get certified now, you kind of got to be working at MCN or some type of company that works in the industry side.
Gotcha. Okay. I think we've got we have videocreators.com. What's the direct link to your channel?
YouTube.com/video creators.
Oh, okay. We'll put that in the chat for everybody.
Yep.
I was wondering.
Yeah, so videocreators.tv goes to the channel, and videocreators.com goes to the website.
That should be you right there.
Yep, that's it.
Right? Okay.
Awesome.
All right, Miles, we'll get you into the Facebook group. Thanks for requesting an invite. Anybody else wants to request an invite, that is over in the question area. We'll get that up so you can see it in just a second.
This is a great question from Monique. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
What are your
Tim,
thoughts on using live stream platforms? So Periscope and Meevee and Facebook Live feeding into your YouTube channel and using YouTube as the hub. Do you think that maybe this would create a personal web TV network? That's a very interesting question.
Feeding it into your YouTube channel. The only way I know to do that is to like screen cap it.
Yep, that's what we did here. We tried that. We syndicated Blab on Hangouts on Air.
Did that go well?
Worked pretty good. I was surprised. Yeah, you have to have the hardware to pull it off, but we literally, it was Willie and I don't know if Willie Anais is in here today or not. He runs a podcast out here, a video cast, and we set it up. We had the Blab going, and we're like, hey, we got to try this. We had people with their phones running it through HOA and others with another screen running HOA, and we managed to syndicate across several channels.
Was it worth it?
It works.
Yeah, but I mean, like for the engagement that you were getting and the questions, like, was it worth having it streamed on YouTube?
It'd be tough to try and keep up with the comment tracker to be able to follow all those feeds at once. Which is hairy. I don't think it's really
that's my thought too.
I remember when I first hopped on Blab, because I was a Periscoper before I was a Blabber, right? And now I'm a Blabber, and maybe I might be on Periscope, right? And now they've got all these, they've got all these other different apps and live streaming stuff out there. But and like Monique was saying, it's like strategically rather than technically, because I think oftentimes you can MacGyver in a system one way or another. You can always come up with a solution, right? Even if you wrote a code for it, right? But we're not even going that way. We're talking strategically, because I think one of the biggest questions that people have is like, how do I get my YouTube channel going? How do I get subscribers in there other than just kind of going, guys, will you please subscribe to my channel? Will someone please follow me? And then you tweet it and you post it on your fan page, and getting aside from that, what is the strategy, at least using live stream, to grow your YouTube channel? And Monique was just asking, is it best to like live stream from multiple perspectives, multiple platforms simultaneously?
I don't. You could. It works. Apparently, you can, that seems like a lot of work for me, and I guess I don't know what the reward, the payoff is for all that extra work. I would rather just hop on Periscope for 10, 15 minutes, go hop on Blab for 10, and just kind of like do the round rather than like try to figure all that out for a half hour. Thing. So.
I think a good process Jonathan started with was to go out and scope people. He brought that audience into Blab as the landing point, and then you have YouTube as your repurpose. You can take this video, you can break it up in post if you want, and chunk it down into smaller videos and upload those, or upload the full raw video and create a playlist separate from that. And just to confirm something, Tim, you do recommend linking to videos from the playlist rather than from the video
when
itself,
possible,
correct? Works better, gets them to follow more videos, get more watch time, get more time on your channel that way. That's kind of what I figured. Okay, well, let's get a couple more questions. We're running down to the last 10 minutes of the show here, folks. So if you haven't, throw them in there real quick, because we're going to want to close up a couple minutes early. What do you have to do to change your YouTube name?
You have to be amazingly popular with millions of subscribers. You need to have a direct contact to YouTube. You need to have a really good business reason why it needs to change. And then you probably need to suck up to a lot of people and maybe even pay $500,000. I don't know. I think all that's true except for the last one. So otherwise, it's impossible. I have seen it happen in like one case ever on YouTube, and it was because she has like 6 or 7 million subscribers at the time, and she was rechanging her whole brand and everything. But I think that's the exception. Other than that, no, it's impossible to change it.
You create a new Gmail account, you open a new YouTube account, and you upload all your videos.
We don't need a new Gmail account, but yes, you create a new channel. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and Kim says she has 2 YouTube channels, and she'd like to move the videos to a more current channel and shut down the other one. And yes, that is absolutely possible, but you may have to, you can't break your YouTube channel from, or can you now, from your Gmail account? Now
You can't move videos, no. Yeah. No way to merge, migrate, transfer, nothing. The only way to do it is to download your videos from one channel, re-upload them to the next, and start all over as a brand new video.
Yeah, which is awesome. We love to do that, right? Because we've already done the effort once, and now we get to do it again.
Personally, I would just like whatever channel you're going to stick with, just move forward with that one and forget about the other one.
Yeah, just start. Just do it. Go. I think a lot of people spend too much time trying to figure that out. Okay, so we have. I'm gonna ask you one more question, and this is gonna segue. I'm gonna prepare you. Okay, here's the question, and then it's gonna give you a chance to really promote some of the products and courses and stuff you do. Okay, how do you create? What is a very good way to create a call to action in your videos? What's that? That was it was a question that had come up, and I think we wrote that down. But what's a good call to action in a YouTube video? How do you do this? As we say on live stream.
Yeah, I don't think it's rocket science. You just, at the end or whenever it's appropriate in the content, you tell them what action you want them to take next as a result of watching that video. So it could be watch this another video, download this thing, go check this out. I'm just careful about any call to actions that send people away from YouTube because that ends the viewing session, which then has a negative SEO implication. So I do it when it makes good business sense to do so, like go download my ebook on my email list, or like it's a resource that is really valuable and pertains to the video, like I did in yesterday's video. So I will send them away for that sense. But most of the time I try just to keep it on YouTube call to action.
Link one video to another video in terms of, hey, come watch my whatever. But the whole point is to keep them on the platform.
Yeah, I got 5 other videos about this. If you want to learn more about this, check out the links in below. They'll take you to other videos, or click right here to, that type of stuff. Cards, as Leland was mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to learn more about that. You probably have some trainings on cards in your standard videos on your channel,
in videos, right? Yes. I haven't made a course or anything, but yeah, on my
No. But YouTube has one too, right? That describes how to use them and format them and such.
Yeah, on their support channel, there's probably a video about it.
So, and again, that's your this is your call to action to tell us about your courses, those products that you offer. Because honestly, I think 136,000 subscribers. I think they're onto something when they subscribe to you, because you do something pretty well. And I'd really like would you just take a couple minutes here, because I know we've got 7 minutes left before the end of the hour. Tell us about your courseware.
Yeah, the main one that I just sent people to is the free one. It's the free ebook. It's called The Secret to Building Your YouTube Audience. And I can put that in chat if you'd like.
Absolutely.
There it is, I think. Yeah. So that's just my free ebook, and it's it's 20-some pages, so it's not a really long read, but it really helps set the foundation about how to think about your YouTube channel. Because most people, like I said, that or actually I didn't talk about this, but a lot of people come to YouTube with the next thing that they actually are familiar with as far as video is concerned, and that's television. So they come bringing all their television misconceptions of what they are to YouTube, and they don't work, and so they're trying to make that book goes into that, and it tells you how you need to think about your channel in order for it to be successful online, because YouTube video is very different than television video. So that's part of it. And then Monique Johnson's plugging my next book after that, which is 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel. And that's the link for that one. And that is just a 30-day process, because I get asked a lot of the same questions over and over again. This is like the same process that I go through when I work with like Fortune 100 companies, develop their channels and stuff. And so what I did is I just broke it down into 30 days, and then it was like a bonus 18 days or something because I couldn't fit in all the 30. So I think it's like literally 48 days, but I call it 30 days because you know, there's a teaching, something you need to know, and then there's tasks, like something you can do right now on your channel, and then there's further resources in each day for you if you want to dig into that, you know, a little bit more and take it to the next level. And so by the end, the goal is to have a YouTube channel that is highly optimized to convert new viewers into subscribers. And so that's kind of like the base. Like you got to get that set up first before anything else in your channel, because it doesn't like matter how much exposure you get if your channel and your videos aren't designed to convert that exposure into ongoing viewers. So a lot of people just try to go straight out and get all the viewership they can. And it's like, it's really hard because their bounce rate is really high. But this is like, let's reduce the bounce rate. Let's get your channel set up so people will subscribe when they find you. And then once you know all that's in place, then go out. And those are my next level courses of, you know, as far as collaborations and SEO and all that stuff is concerned, then how to get the people in. So that book is like the foundational one.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for having you've gone through the trenches. I mean, you've kind of grown with YouTube, and for you to put those kind of resources together that are, I mean, you know, this is this is the real deal. I mean, you know, this is actually making it happen. These are actually ways that I know you've put into practice. And so I love it. It's like you're like, I tried to put this into 30 days. I just didn't work. So
yeah. Well, here's the thing too. Like a lot of times, well, how do I say this? I guess. So I guess I'll just say it this way, that this process, like a lot of people think, okay, that's what worked for you, Tim. But no, this is what worked for me and over 1,000 other people that I've worked with, other creators. Like the process, like I feel very confident. I'm not really a good salesperson, but when I know something works and I know something's valuable, like I'm like, this is totally worth it. And so this is the same process I've used with really big people and people who are just starting out with nothing and they got the same results both sides. So
nice.
It's I like it.
And I've seen your video too, Tim, on just the state of affairs out there where we have YouTubers who have millions of subscribers and aren't putting food on their table because of the fact that they didn't really consider all the nuances of YouTube and its viewership. And I would love, Tim, in the future, in maybe a month or 2 or 3 down the road, to have you back on the show to talk about, I've got this card has been sitting on my desk for I don't know how long now. It's about the 9 different revenue streams.
I'm adding a 10th actually, but yeah.
Are you really? So we have, and I'm just going to shout them out before we close today to give people an idea of how you can make money on YouTube, and that is through AdSense, product sales, brand deals, which I would love to talk to you about brand deals in the future because I've seen some of your videos there, speaking gigs, consulting, licensing, affiliates, Patreon, of course, being like the tipping system, a membership site, and live events. So there's a conundrum of things that you can do with this platform to create money, and Tim has kind of exposed that to its fullest, and now he's going on 10. So we'd love to find out.
Actually, that 10 was the live events.
Oh, okay. Maybe I had one on there that I missed then. Oh, the streams was another one. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing my first live event this summer, I think, a day before VidCon. So
nice.
We would love to have you on the show again sometime, Tim. We won't bug you right away, but I'd love to get in touch with you after the quarter's over or something and see if you'd be willing to join us again. And I know our fans would probably love it. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Good hanging out with you. And you guys have a great day.
All right, man. And enjoy your...
All right, you close.
All right, guys, as we kind of always do, and Tim, if you don't know this yet about our show, I usually end the show when I run out of coffee. And this is the mug shot for today. This is my Happy Father's Day mug, just the next one on the list on the rotation. So usually I'm basically out of coffee, so I'm going to kind of end my show with that. So thank you. Right, it's a very convenient.
Ran out of gas, like literally.
Right. It's today brought to you by the power of coffee. But Tim, I seriously, from my heart, I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know you've got couples. Very small little girls, and I'm so glad to see your family growing, and that you've taken the time out for us and shared some of the things that I know that you have really shown to work and really grow your business. I really appreciate that. And
thanks for having me hang out with you guys. It's fun.
please feel free to drop by anytime. Just surprise us one day and drop it in
every day at 10, huh?
I'm here every day at 10.
I'll tell you, I'm honestly like not in front of my computer yet. I'm usually like rubbing my eyes, trying to get kids dressed, diapers changed, all that fun stuff. But
right,
yeah, we'll see.
Awesome. Well,
totally good. And you have, just to express one point, you actually have 4 children under the age of.
I have 4
3?
kids under ages 2 and under. Yeah, wow. I have 6 kids ages 6 and under, but 4 of them are ages 2 and under. Yeah. So I have a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and 2-week-olds.
That is fantastic.
Oh,
man.
It'll be awesome one day.
It will be. You look at you can sleep when you're dead.
But I think everybody knows how to get a hold of Tim at videocreators.com. Make sure to touch base over there and get a good look at some of his videos. For me, it's lelandbest.com or Megabit Affiliate. And Jonathan, of course, at jonathantripp.com. So,
all right. So
you guys,
at this point, we're going to stop the recording, kind of. I'm going to pause the recording, but we're really just going to let it go. We do that so we can kind of cut it. And Tim, I know your time is valuable. So if you need to cut out and go get to the rest of your day, please feel free. I'm going to keep this collab going for a little bit, but
okay.
So
well, thanks for having me, guys. I'm going to edit today's vlog because I got a bunch of other appointments to get to today.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you, Tim, so much, man. You take care.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay. We've officially in the after show now. This is the after party,
yes,
after show.
The after blab.
Did you guys, what'd you guys think of today's show? What'd you guys think of that? Was that
Beer. Cubby's ready for beer.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
in the afternoon over there.
He's +6. So he's already done his thing. Cubby, this is a good one for you because I know Chris just started up his not a channel, but kind of like his own YouTube show. So dude, you're gonna want to hit this thing up later. Catch the first part of the blab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna cover my exposure. I need to go use the little boys' room
mute it out for all of our sakes, right?
Yeah, I will. No problem. Well, yeah, whatever.
All right. No, Paul, thank you so much for saying that. We can still see you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was really impressed. I mean, honestly, like this is the first time I've met him. Obviously, guys, this is the first time I've met Tim. We tried to get him on earlier this year, and with the birth of his 2 new daughters, we just had to postpone it. And I was not disappointed. But I'll be honest with you, it sounds as much as difficult as it is to cultivate a good audience on any social media platform, and then I mean a good quality interacting. It does. By difficult mean I said like it takes time, it takes effort, it takes follow through. I mean, it's not just post a video and all of a sudden you have 135,000, 136,000 followers. It doesn't work that way. And it's the same way with almost any platform. I mean, you can cultivate your audience. Absolutely. I'm convinced that you can find an audience on any platform. It's just how quickly, how broad, that are you going to be able to cultivate it? In Tim's point, with a lot of his materials, it's like there are some certain tricks and tips to make you more accessible to your audience. And I think that's one of the biggest keys that I can pull out is that follow some of his tips. And he's thankful. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught it earlier on. He was saying something to the effect of, look, I'm not telling you anything here that I haven't already said in like the 500 plus videos. He says his course is just all of that combined down. So if you want to spend the time to go through all 500 plus videos that he's done to grab it, then go for it. He says, but if you just want it because your time's valuable and you want it in a succinct, laid out step-by-step process, then the coursework is great. So how many of you guys actually have YouTube channels, whether you curate content or whether you're a content producer or anything? How many of you guys have YouTube channels right now? And I expect to see a couple of YouTube URLs. That's the cue. I want to see the URL. Well, for you guys, it's down there. I want to see the URLs. Put them in there. Karen, I know you do. Chris, awesome. Chris, you just launched yours. I already called the YouTube police on you, just so you know. No, but we all got to start somewhere. Karen, I know you've got one. Guys, I know we've got more people out there with YouTube channels and things like that. I know we do. So we're talking about drug rings. All right, so that's what kind of show you. Awesome. That is pretty funny. I will say this, like I underutilize a couple of platforms, but I'm still there. YouTube is one of them. David Vaughn's all over my case. He's borderline harassing me in comments and in tweets and stuff about using a YouTube channel, and I feel like I need to succumb just to get him off my case. But no, but seriously, I really appreciate everybody who's like, well, no, John, I want to be able to find it. I want to be able to see it and such like that. Oh, there he is. Stop talking about him. What kind of videos are you thinking about making? For me personally, I've thought about doing short 10-minute ones. They're almost with a 10-minute podcast feel, where I thought about doing it like this, taking questions that you guys have asked either in the group, or maybe take a question that was asked on a blab and just take 10 minutes and just do it. Just answer the question. I would be, how do you get a custom URL? Oh, okay. That's a good question. Oh, did I miss him? He's gone. I can still hear him. Where'd he go? No, I was thinking, Chris, I was really seriously thinking about just taking some questions from you guys. Just taking it from the groups and doing a short, and nothing super elaborate, but just start answering some of the questions, because you guys come up with some of the best questions I've ever seen, and I love it. And it doesn't matter if it's marketing. Well, I'd like to kind of keep it within what BlabNation's about. So, social media, marketing, business kind of questions and things like that. Of course, Coffee will always be involved somewhere.
What does Frank want for a custom URL? I missed all that. I bounced out of them.
I think what he's asking is how do you get your YouTube to have a custom URL? So it's not just
forward it. Just get your. I mean, this is mine basically. If you just get a domain name and forward it to your YouTube channel.
I think what he's saying is that kind of like with Tim's
vanity name.
YouTube.com/video creators.
Oh yeah, you can get the vanity name with your account as you start creating video. I think you have to create a certain number of videos first. You continue to upgrade in YouTube as you go. The more you provide the service and start accessing it, and the more you click into all the little things that you can set up, like your branding, logo, your little watermark and things like that, the more it opens up to you. The more you use live feed, that's when live streaming starts to open up to you. So it's kind of a progressive thing. Mm-hmm. If you don't use it, you won't ever get the features. So you have to just continue to use it. Assign yourself as a YouTube creator and a partner for the advertising. It's that type of aspect that if you don't play along, they're not going to give you all the cool features up the road. So
I think, isn't there also a subscriber threshold that you have to hit in order to customize?
Yeah, I think you actually have to have 50 subscribers before you.
Okay, so everybody, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can get a custom URL.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not sure what it is. I really don't.
If you were to Google, like, when do you get a vanity name for or vanity URL for YouTube, you should be able to find an answer for that. Vanity names are the big one.
Yeah, and those are the ones, honestly, that I like. For instance, I mean, well, okay, so obviously, Chris, you already have one. You have a custom URL.
No, Karen, and I'm sorry if it seemed as though we dumped your question, but we had just answered that like 10 seconds before you posted the question. I think it was somebody else asked the same question as how can you change your YouTube name? And Tim kind of confirmed the fact that you can't unless you had like $1 million and all these other people involved. But that is one of the downfalls to YouTube right now. And that's why I recommend, if anything, if you can't change, I mean, you won't be able to change your YouTube name, but that's not really the important factor all the time. It's more about what you have contained in your YouTube channel than what it's called. Mm-hmm. So because you can tie it to any account, your blog, your videos kind of stand on their own. It's not about what channel per se they come from, though your channel art and the way you structure it. One of the bigger things to consider are getting your splash screens for your videos concise. It took me a while to really come up with some type of format that I want to use for a consistent labeled screen for each video, rather than just let the screen capture take front seat on that. You're better off to just create a small graphic, add some text, similar to what Tim does in all his videos. I don't put my face on my screen cap, but I he does, and a lot of people use that technique. That seems to bring a pretty good following. So stick with something on that regard. Yeah, I had mine changed for a little while too before I started using it, Cubby. Need to come see yours. I haven't checked yours out yet. Could you put your link in here for your YouTube channel so I can go see it?
Yeah,
Jonathan, yours too. Is it up there? Did you put yours
posted it in there. I actually, yeah, because I haven't done a lot of this. Oh, by the way, guys, here real quick. That's our Monday show. I forgot to post that earlier. That's our Monday show. We go from Tim Schmoyer and a lot, like, you guys were awesome. Like I was like tech talk here. That's what I should have called this. A live stream in YouTube 2016 tech talk. That was awesome. No, you guys were blowing it out of the water. I loved it. And then we are totally going in a different direction on Monday. I kind of like Monday motivations, but not so not so hashtaggy.
All right.
I hate to do the all I wanted to do is pop in and grab attention, but Jonathan Tripp, I need to talk to you today offline.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you got it.
That was easy.
Are we connected on Twitter?
I think we are.
Little birdie there.
Good. Okay.
No.
Oh, Karen, as far as your question goes,
Yeah, I'm on a way to speak someplace, Jonathan. I want to make sure I have to talk to you today. So
yeah, no, I just tweeted you my I just DM'd you my phone number.
Okay, I got it. I'll talk to you a little bit.
Okay, thanks, man.
Bye.
Hey, Tim. Is it okay to put all your videos on various topics into one channel and then divide them up
this
via
is
playlist,
good.
or should you have separate accounts? It really makes a difference if you have some really varied content. Yeah, we can't hear you, Cubby.
Not yet. I can't hear you yet.
You have really varied content. Like, for instance, if you look at, and if you still have the link to Best at YouTube, you can go take a look at what I've done. I have several channels. Well, I have a few channels, plus I have several playlists on my main YouTube channel. I do 3D animation work. I do an affiliate program that's established for training and how-to videos. I do how-to videos for other things that are related to, you know, Windows and video and things of that nature. So playlists work great. For me, my YouTube channel is Leland Best's YouTube channel. So that's really all it is. And I create playlists for all the different things that I do, and I put those videos into those playlists. And it's okay to put the video up first, but I think you'll do better if you create the playlists first, and then when you create the videos, drop them into the playlist as you go. And when you share those videos, share them from your playlist. That way, any other related videos in that feed will be seen by your viewer, and you can go from there. Cubby, what's up?
I want his audio to work. Dude, refresh or something, or turn it on.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I'll be patient. I'm a very patient man. I'm a very patient.
Give us, come on, hand signals. Give me this. Give me the A, B, C, D, E, F. John, call me. Everybody wants you to call. What is this?
Dude, it's Friday.
Everybody's like, call me, John. Call me. Oh, good.
Oh, man. All right. No, I think he just needs to refresh it.
To me. They all want you. It is your show. What can I say?
Yeah, it is. But you know what, guys? I'm not joking. This is so. You guys are so amazing as a community, and I love hearing this. Talk about the guy. Let's try.
Got them all now. All right, I'll call you, Cubby. I don't have your phone number. Text me your phone number.
He's in and out. He's like, call me. Roy, are you on?
John, what's up, Roy?
I'm here. I'm waiting for you guys to finish. Hi, Leland. Hi, Jonathan. Guys, it wasn't touched on. I wish I could have jumped on earlier, but I couldn't to ask this question. But basically, I wanted to put something out for food for thought. So if you do a search for some of your more longer tail keywords in your particular niche, if you find a video there, that's where you should be. So one of the things that I teach people is, it's one thing to have your video rank on page 1 of google.com on YouTube. It's quite another thing to have it rank on your website.com. And here's the reason why. So if you ever update that particular video, you will lose your ranking on Google more than likely, because it's going to be a different URL. But if you put the video or videos, and that's the beauty of having it on your own web page, you can have more than one video for that particular keyword phrase, or several keyword phrases. So I wonder if the two of you have touched on that, or thought about that, or are even doing that.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't really addressed that as an issue yet, because I don't use YouTube as one of my platforms that I really focus on. Okay. Now, having said that, I think you're absolutely right. In this, it's kind of like it's the concept of, are you going to use somebody else to build somebody else's platform, YouTube,
Correct.
such and such, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Snap, to build your personal brand and not have your personal blog? I think that's a huge mistake. I think it'd be a huge mistake. And so what I say is that, and this is just one of the things that I always say, if you're going to bother to put it up on YouTube, put the extra effort in to have a blog post, to have something on your real estate, your home base, your command center, so that everybody can start coming. They'll be able to come and see you. And that is just going to give you a lifetime of exposure, as opposed to how many of us had Facebook pages that are fan pages that were doing great, and then the 2015 algorithm change happened, and we all lost it. It totally changed the game. All of a sudden, it was just like, what? And I know people that closed out. They don't do Facebook fan pages anymore, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And I'll tell you my take on it, Roy, from several perspectives, actually, because I've been running my channel since 2012, and it started out kind of weak, and it's not like crazy flourished, but I rank a lot of videos on the first page of Google. And my recommendation comes from playing around with updating videos also. But when I update videos, I just cut another video, and I use the annotations within the existing video and the description of that video to say that there is a 2015 or 2016 update with links to the new video, so that my old video doesn't lose its ranking. It will stay on the front page of Google. It will lead people to the newer update when they come and click on that. So all those videos that I've ranked on, slot 1, page 1, are going to continue to stay where they're at unless something changes in the algorithm. I've got some videos that have been up on, Google's front page for several years now. And it's just the fact that you don't want to, like you mentioned, you don't want to update the video as it is on YouTube. Like, don't delete it and upload another version. If you do that, you're going to blow yourself out of the water.
You're kicking yourself in the foot. Yes. Yeah.
Always leave that video intact and just create another one and forward some links out of the old video into the new.
Beautiful.
As far as your other site goes, your blog should definitely contain videos from your YouTube channel. Whether they're embedded or whether they're simply anchor text links doesn't really matter. The embed is obviously going to be simpler for the user to experience right there at that time, but it's not going to necessarily increase the rankings unless you share them out to Google Plus and to Twitter as a blog post. That way you're starting to rank your .com site versus the YouTube site. And as Tim mentioned, when you're using video and in the description, you don't want to necessarily link out too much to outsource. You don't want to be linking to your blog from your videos. You want to link to either other videos on your channel, and every now and then maybe to a sign up page so that people can discover your website. But they work both succinctly and collaboratively. So you want to make sure that you're not over addressing one with the other, or pulling people off of your YouTube watch time to go over to your blog to sign up for your your email list or whatever, because you're actually doing yourself a disservice by removing that watch time and getting your eyes on video rather than signing up for your next email, because honestly, you want to build subscribers, and the only way you're going to do that is to keep them watching your video.
Yeah, I love the way that we're unpacking this, guys, because so there's always two sides to everything, I always say, and there's the mechanical side and then there's the mindset side. So what we're talking about here is the mindset. So people already know how to put your video on YouTube. They already know how to put their video on their web page or pages. Now the question becomes, why would you do that? And so, Leland, you just touched on why you wouldn't necessarily want to link from every single one of your videos back to your homepage, because you're going to kill engagement. And as Tim said, you want that watch time, because that's going to be crucial for SEO. And a lot of people are very, very confused about SEO because there's too many cooks in the kitchen telling you what you need to do. And if you don't know what you don't know, and you don't, who are you going to trust? Who are you going to listen to? So I really appreciate the fact that you guys are bringing some of the names that you trust so that we can now trust, and we don't have to go looking and searching. Right. So Tim is a name that I have been following as well, Leland. I understand you're the guy behind him being here more so than Jonathan, which is awesome. I love that. That's collaboration, and over here it's collaboration. I love that. You guys, I'm going to interview you guys one of these days, just very quickly, 15 minutes or less, because of the partnership. And I say that with my best Boston accent, of which I don't have, because I'm all about two are better than one. Oh, yeah. And here on Blab, it's almost a necessity, because if you're going to go and do a show by yourself and you don't delegate well, because it's your mindset, there's a clog there somewhere, and you're going like, no one can do it as good as me. I don't want to co-host, whatever. I tell you what, you guys are going to be living testimony of this. You guys are going to get way more blank. You can fill the blank with whatever, way more blank out of everything that you do collectively than you would individually. So get with someone who's on the same journey, maybe at the same portion or part of the journey. But if not, at least, go the distance, whatever that means, a season, a few months, lifetime. Just that's what I'm all about. So same thing here. And I just want to leave everyone with this. Do your videos that way too. Get into some sort of collaboration with someone, and make this simple. So let someone else know about your channel so that they can do that in their marketing and promotion, and you can promote each other. And two heads are better than one, three are better than two. And what you guys are doing with the Facebook group, BlabNation, we're all helping each other to uncover who we are and then support each other as we need to, not something that's forced. It's like, I'm not going to say, to my followers, you got to go watch Tim, when my followers may say, nah, that doesn't apply. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I know I'm rambling now, but guys, you guys are doing such a wonderful job. I totally support the both of you. Love you guys as individuals, and as collectives, you're even, better. So I just wanted to say that. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You really do. And David just happened to show up on the scene. Good morning, David Vaughn.
Yeah, we're just getting going, David. We're still waiting, just started. Just waiting for Tim to come in. Just waiting for him to show up.
I have some land for sale for you in Florida. So.
Awesome.
As far as Roy brought up the topic of SEO, and Jonathan and I behind the scenes, at least he should have received a couple of emails from me by now. I have touched on the topic of what we need to discuss here as far as SEO is related. There are several myths that have still propagated the internet over time, from the old days of SEO and black hat tactics and a lot of other aspects to that people are still using improperly and should never use again ever. So, or even be afraid to use. And we're going to touch on those topics in the coming weeks. It's going to take a little bit to clear up our schedule. I don't think we have a day available right yet with interviews to touch on that topic, but we will be discussing that in the near future. I'd like to cover about 15 myths of SEO and some ways that we can clear up what we have already and the things we should focus on going forward in 2016 when it comes to SEO tactics and strategies.
That's a really good topic. And guys, I am less of an SEO guy, because that is like, you think, I'm going to say like this, right? And Leland, correct me if I'm wrong. You think it's like you dip your toe in and you think, oh, SEO, okay, I got it, right? It's like one of those little puddles that are like this big, and you like jump in and you just like you disappear. I know there's a Giphy out there for it. Somebody jumping into the puddle and just disappear. But that's what SEO is. It's not like this super, super big, huge, broad topic. Like I'll put live streaming is a super big, wide, broad topic. SEO it's smaller than that, but it's so deep. You can get and I mean I really think that you can legitimately have some SEO experts and I want to find it.
Don't let me fear it. And before we get David's mouth open over here, I want to say one thing about SEO to everybody out here who's listening to us. Don't fear it, because right now Google is in the process of stomping out all of those old exact match domains, keywords, stuff, blog posts, and websites that are nothing but trying to beat the ranking systems. So all you really need to do is find a keyword, put it in your title, talk about it in your first paragraph, and then engage your audience. Be yourself, write naturally. Don't try to put 5 different keywords into your text and write weird phrases to make them fit. Just pick one keyword or a phrase or whatever it is you want to do. Go with it, run with it. Don't worry about so much the SEO itself, because Google will take care of that for you. It is a neat place to go learn. It's more the keyword research that takes place beforehand, the important aspect,
planning,
than it is really worrying about how you tweak your site and how you make everything fit. So, and we'll cover all that a little bit at a time as we move ahead. So, David, how you doing?
I'm fine.
David C. Vaughn. I just made up the middle initial. I don't know what it is.
David doesn't have a middle initial. No.
David _ Vaughn.
It's NMN, no middle name.
No middle name. All right, that's pretty good.
That's what it was when I went into prison. So.
That's nice.
Oh, we won't talk about that though. Well, maybe we should.
No, I don't want to talk about that on this show. That's a 10 p.m.
knows at BlabNation.
That's not that's an NSFW.
That's an NWWN, right?
I had your children.
And now what?
Orange
what
is
next?
the new black. So I'm sorry I missed Tim. I'll have to catch the. I actually missed the entire thing. I was on 2 different calls back to back. So
hey, good problems to have, man. Good problems to have. So let me ask you this, David: Are you on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Do you utilize it as a primary platform for your business and brand?
Yes.
Would you mind putting your link in the URL? Putting the URL in the chat link for us.
Sure.
So I've asked other people to do it, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like at this point, my YouTube game is weak. My kung fu is not strong.
Why? Oh, that's right, because you can't upload your blabs to YouTube.
It is literally a click of a button, and I don't even get to do that. It's so weak.
You know how you
like 443
Starbucks lattes to pay for that vacation. Well, I bet you could save some time with a little less gel in the hair,
right? No, it's
and upload. It uploads for you.
It really does. And
do you know what semantic ranking is, Jonathan?
No, I'm not familiar with that terminology.
It means ranking word for word.
In a sense, not only that, but also synonyms of words. So Google is smart enough to understand what it is you're trying to do if you approach it correctly. And you can rank for things you have no clue you're ranking for. And that will get you the exposure that you need.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Just get the video. When I hear that, you can rank for things you don't mean to. Oh,
Well, you can't, but that's sometimes a good thing because you create a larger audience and a bigger reach. There's reaches, and you can check that through Google Analytics, through the search terms that are established by Google. Well, I don't know if it's Analytics or Webmaster Tools. It's one of the two, and I'll find it for you. But you can actually go and see all the keywords that Google ranks you for on every page of your blog if you want to. And it shows a list of every word on your site that it's already chosen for you, whether you decided to keyword it or not. So it has its own little algorithm method of putting you on page one, whether you like it.
Google's algorithm is extremely intelligent.
That's crazy.
When you're talking about SEO and not fuddling around, it really depends on what you're doing. So Brandon Lucero is a friend of mine. He runs Selling with Video, and he's got a course where he teaches how to do local videos and local video SEO. And it's like just in his free stuff, you could get a ton of information. And all you do is you just put exactly what it is. So, chicken dinners in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, or whatever, you want to sit there and come up with, and So it really depends on what you want to do. And I play around with it a lot. And that's the other thing is that it updates super quick. So like I will sit there and I'll post a video up and then I'll go back in a week or 2 weeks or whenever. And I'll look at the analytics and I'll look for the search terms that got people there.
Yeah.
And if something's ranking higher, I'll just adjust the title and I'll make sure it's in the description.
Yeah. And the one thing you have to be careful about with that, though, is changing the URL of a post because it's already ranked. You can actually pull it from the rankings if you do that. Sometimes it's better to create a
URL for the post. And
no, you can change the title, but don't change the URL.
Don't change the URL.
And a lot of people with the old SEO black hat tactics, it was like lengthy keyword in the title, exact match in the URL, exact match on the website name, exact match in the first paragraph, and a couple more times, and then one more time down the last paragraph. And that was just, and then stuff a list of them down at the bottom of the whole article. That was the way they tried.
That's where clickbaiting started coming from because of all that type of stuff.
Right. And that has a really good reputation.
Google's just going like this and smacking everybody.
And honestly, I'm glad that they do that. Because I mean, if you could just do that and just clickbait it basically encourages spammers by making us go through the extra steps. Yes, it's inconvenient, but I think in some ways it keeps a lot of the potential junk, even as much as we think we have to do it. I think it keeps a lot of that other stuff way down.
Yep.
Might want to change the topic since Tim's not here anymore. People are going to come in here thinking he's here.
Well, then they come in and I say subscribe. Come in and subscribe.
Oh, there you go.
No, you know what's awesome about this? I break for Leland and John. That's awesome.
Sweet.
You know, one of the things I love seeing is how people come in and I'm starting to recognize the names. Like not necessarily people I see like every single day, but it's like, oh yeah, I know that name. Because you guys are starting to become, kind of regulars, even on the replays. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Jonah, I stopped into one of Jonah's replays yesterday. I got to come by and see you guys sometime, man. You're mixing bike riding and beer creation. This is that's Blab universe right there. That's where do you go with that?
Bike riding and beer creation?
Oh yeah, some serious bike riders and beer brewers over there on his channel. So I'm gonna stop.
Oh, I thought you meant they were doing it at the same time. So
well, they have two different guys.
Well, I guess if you wanted to power the whatever,
gotta get them carbohydrates going, right, man.
You're taking in as much as you're burning off.
Craft beer Blab. Okay, that's cool. We got a hashtag now.
So Jonathan, what did you give the link to your channel?
I did. Let's see if hold on. Let's see. Is this my channel link?
So I did a video a while back because I constantly get the question about, I hear people say, and this is part of the things that I teach about just go. People are like, well, I'd like to have more videos. And I'm like, well, then go shoot more videos and just put them up. It's the exact same thing with everything else. Who cares what they look like? Get yourself noticed by getting stuff up there. People will look at the crappy stuff. Trust me, it's YouTube.
Yeah, right.
If they want broadcast television, they will go and they will turn on TV and they will watch NBC or TNT or AMC or whatever it is. That's broadcast television. No one in fact, they like it when it's not as polished as what it is.
Go ahead. Well, we'll get Roy to say something because I got Hogle asking a question.
Oh, hey, boy, I didn't see him there. I'm sorry.
Hey, David.
You don't have to catch the replay. That's all right. I was just going to let Jonah know. He's going to have to catch the replay. Tim's been here and gone. He left at 11, so he just missed the show. We just hadn't gotten around to changing the description in the title yet. So
if I do that, I'm going to end the recording because I don't want to screw with the. If I change the title, it's going to change the whole title of the Blab forevermore.
Unless you change it back.
Oh, does it?
Unless you change it back.
Right.
Just remember to change it back. No, I just wanted to touch on what you were touching on, Leland, is that so I'm passionate about SEO, and what you just shared about exact match title, H1, at the top, in the middle, at the bottom, in the link, like everywhere. And the reason people did that is because it worked. So, it's all about your perspective. Is one of Google's early mantras was "do no evil," And a lot of
that's
people don't
for
believe
sure.
that anymore,
Yeah.
simply because they now know what Google had to do in order to not shoot themselves in the foot. Because a lot of this spamming stuff, in my humble opinion, and I'm willing to absolutely bow to anybody who says anything different, because when it comes to SEO, unless you're Google or Bing or Yahoo, unless you know the algorithm, it's all speculation to the best of our knowledge. But some of us speculate better than others, right? So what I know worked in the very, very beginning with Google was links.
Oh yeah.
SEO was very simple in the
Backlinking.
beginning. It was links, links, links. He or she who had the most links won. It was that simple.
Yep.
But because Google allowed for all of this, and some of us who know what we were doing, reverse engineering all this stuff, said, look, this works. Why wouldn't we do that? And then all of a sudden it became evil to do that. So I just wanted to share on what you were saying, Leland, that if you are not a forward-thinking kind of person and say, oh, this is possibly going to have some adverse effects because people are going to do this and they don't want that. So unless you do the crystal ball thing, yeah, you're going to have to be making a lot of adjustments. And it doesn't mean that you were evil. It just means that Google didn't know what they didn't know back then. And now they're more sophisticated in making changes to their algorithm. And like you said, the semantic way is the best way, because if you put television 2 or 3 times and I put TV 2 or 3 times and anything boob tube 2 or 3 times, Google knows it's all the same thing. So do that. Just write for your, like I said in the little quote here, write for your human visitors first. Don't put, I have the best gift basket business on the planet. And, I started my gift basket business like 12 days ago. And, if you're really into gift basket, no, that's not how you write. Okay. Because a lot of people think that's SEO. That is not SEO. So I just wanted to just jump in and say my 2 cents. Thanks again, guys.
No,
Cool,
I
man.
totally agree with you, Roy. It makes perfect sense, because that is what Google allowed. And that's what really ticked off a lot of SEO folks, last couple of years, was the fact that it was allowed and then Google stripped it, because what ended up happening is they started to discover how much lame content was being created. They wanted to provide proper content to those and it built their audience. I mean, obviously their purpose is advertise. They want to sell advertising. So if it's not going to the right place, then what's the sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. That's the real reason, is that Google, no matter what Google does, their end game is advertising. And what was happening was they were not making as much off of the advertising because the clicks were going down because people were finding alternatives to Google.
And they're watching it all the time. It's not like, we'll let it ride for 24 hours and then we'll think about it. They're watching it. Because for them, they're so big, every second they're making or losing money, potentially. I don't think they're losing money. They're just not making as much money.
Sorry, John. I didn't mean to step in.
No, but I think it's a really important aspect. I mean, for smaller businesses that, we don't have it as the volume of clicks, but I mean, so we can afford to let it ride for 24 hours. Okay, let's see in 24 hours how it goes. Some of these businesses and platforms are literally so big, they can monitor it. Okay, in the last 45 minutes, last half hour, last hour, what has been happening? I mean, Twitter's like that. They measure it to the minutia. I mean, YouTube's watching how long you watch a video. Facebook does the same thing. I mean, they are just all over it down to the second, because that's how strong. That's how strong they have to be in terms of content curation. Because I think if they allow too much crap to come through, I don't think they know that their watch is going to go down, and thus their revenue. And so it's really important. And I think we should take that same kind of a thought process of going, well, let's just make better content. That's my 2 cents.
And if you guys want to know what's going on with Google, go to the Webmaster blog site. Google Matt Cutts, CUT, is the man in charge of what goes on when it comes to search and the updates and the algorithm changes and things of that nature. He's the man that will answer the questions. And you'll find that Google isn't out to just, rape people's sites and tear them down and this kind of thing. They want to work with you. They want you to succeed also, because that helps them succeed. But they do have some certain things in place that you have to follow. And people want to try to go against the grain, and when you go against the grain, they rub back. So you're better off to just follow the rules, and they'll give you all the tips you need to try and be successful out here on Google. I don't use AdWords. My AdWords account's actually suspended because I used it improperly the first week I had it, and I have not since then been able to get it unsuspended. I just gave it up. It was one ad. That was all it took. It was one faulty ad that was based on an MMO or money-making online product, and Google does not play that game. They are not about that in any way, shape, or form. Sorry.
That's okay. I just thought I'd catch you.
That bad. That better?
Yep.
Okay, so, that makes all the difference.
No, it's not. I don't know what it is.
No.
It's better when you don't talk. It works great.
So you got James, huh?
I did. At like 11:30 last night, he decides he's going to respond to me in text.
That'll be cool. How am I doing on audio?
Oh, you love this one.
That is like what
freak is that? Eyeballs on his head? Oh, that's hilarious.
I was going to say that's what this is right now.
Even that.
Come on, you gotta love it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well. Okay. So anyway,
like all the blackheads from my childhood have come up and just move around.
You know which ones are real are the ones that don't move.
Hi, Roy.
Bye, Roy. Yeah. I've got a couple of guys. I have a couple of phone calls and stuff like that today. I got to hit. I'd love to keep it going, but I got to dash out.
Good for you.
That's fine. That's all right.
And next week, next week I've got, we've got it's a full roster. I've already put up all of the Blab links in my profile. The events are posted in the Facebook. And just kind of as a special thing, I'm actually I'm hosting on Tim Gillette's radio show on Tuesday, and so that'll be an experience. And if it wasn't for the fact that he has a producer, the show would totally be mine. But he has a producer. And apparently there are some rules that I've got to follow, and he's got to email. He wants to talk to me today about that too. So, but anyway.
Oh my God, I see Blabs on Jonathan's YouTube channel.
They are there. I told you.
We're doing one show. What day is that show going to be?
And it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I will post the link. I'm going to tweet it out and stuff like that. That's what I just need to talk with I need to talk with Tim today and get it all ironed out. What's up?
No, go ahead. You got to go. So I was just looking at something new that
Leland, Leland, can you just pause it out when you get done? Otherwise, I'm just going to head out. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Just pause it when you guys are done.
All right, Jonathan.
All right, man.
No problem.
Guys,
right, thanks, Jonathan.
Bye.
Bye. What were you looking at?
I was looking at apparently YouTube's now giving suggested follows based off of who you're looking at. I guess. I don't know. It was telling me to follow myself though.
YouTube is? Or Blab?
YouTube.
Oh, because I noticed Blab's got this little nifty feature now. When you pick on somebody in a Blab, it'll say, well, you're not following them. You want to follow them now?
Oh, does it really?
Yeah. If you click on someone in a window in a video that you are not currently following. I give you that link to there, to the Blab with the Blab team.
The techie? Yeah. You did last night.
So yeah, if there's no other questions about what we discussed today, we can probably wrap this room up. I've got some things I could be doing. It's Friday. I got to do some grocery shopping and be prepared for the weekend. Go get a couple of bottles of wine for tonight. Maybe you have any money left after all that?
Leland, I will let you know that I decided that I was going to do a Facebook group. I actually had a Facebook group that I kind of abandoned, so I just repurposed it. So I figured it was one place I could at least post events, but I'm also going to direct more towards the website.
Kind of like a boiler room thing, right?
Yeah.
that's usually what ends up happening. And I've seen this done before, where you run it for a period of time while the group is, maintaining its consistency. And as the new people come in, like on your next round through, like say you do a few weeks of steady, blabbing on a certain aspect or purpose or whatever you have going, and you get a big following going, and then it starts to taper off and people start to go by the wayside, and they've been there for a few months, and you bring in a new crew from some new blabs. You can basically repurpose the boiler room. I've had people actually start other groups for the veterans and have them go over to another group, and then the boiler room is like where everybody builds up and decides whether they're going to even be associated with you or not, and then they move over to a maybe more private group as they become more or less elite veterans within your.
Yep. I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. I got this call.
Yeah. Everybody, thanks for coming.
Thanks,
we appreciate you hanging out as long as you could at BlabNation this morning, and we will just wrap it up on the recording today. Jonathan, thanks for having us, and we'll hopefully have another great week next week. So everybody, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday.